Yes, hello everybody. Welcome back to YouTube. Welcome back to ThreadmanChaza. New week, new beginnings. I hope this week treats you well. I hope everybody is doing well. We're back today with another video. Very, very positive result for Manchester United. Maybe not a positive performance for us, but a very, very positive result against a very, very tough opponent in Leeds yesterday. So very, very pleased with the result. Obviously, a very good 2-0 victory. But in this video, I want to talk particularly about one particular element, one particular player, and that's Wout Weghorst. So obviously, we could talk about lots of things about the Leeds game, who played well, who didn't, etc. But as always, with this particular analysis show, normally we aim for about 20 minutes long, focusing on one particular player or one particular tactical element. For example, we did Jadon Sancho against Nottingham Forest in the Carabao Cup semi-final second leg. We did Leeds from the game on Wednesday and their high press, and today we're going to talk about the Leeds game from yesterday. So obviously we played Leeds twice last week. We're going to talk about Wout Weghorst. So as always, please do let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do like if you enjoy, and please do subscribe if you're new. We're always trying to bring new, fresh content out for you. So Wout Weghorst. So very, very interestingly, again, Erik ten Hag made a positional change. So he made a positional change in this particular game. So this time it was Wout Weghorst in the number 10. This is something I think a lot of us didn't expect to see. I don't know what it's going to be next. Is it going to be De Gea in midfield? Is it going to be Tyrell Malacia as a right winger? What is it going to be next? You know, this is just Erik ten Hag. He is a crazy, crazy man, and I love him for it because a lot of the things he is doing at the moment are paying off. You know, as a manager, especially as a new manager to the Premier League, you expect more things will go wrong than right. At the moment, the majority of things are going right than wrong. And as a manager coming into the Premier League, you know, as a new manager with a new squad, trying to get everything together, you expect, even if as many things go right as go wrong, so 50-50, you say, well, that's okay, you know, we expect that. But it's literally at the moment for Manchester United, I would say, with what Erik ten Hag's got, the way he's changing things around, the positional rotations, the position change he's doing, the way he's managing the squad. It's literally 90% of the things he's doing are working out. So this is absolutely brilliant. So for the last half an hour or so, 20 minutes, half an hour, however long it was for exactly, Erik ten Hag moved Wout Weghorst to number 10. So Marcus Rashford went to number 9. You can see here on this particular image, you can see Garnacho is on the left-hand side. You can see Bruno Fernandes is on the halfway line. So he's actually playing on the right-hand side. So he's going to make a run to the right. I think it's Junior Firpo there who's running back. So he's going to make a run to that right-hand side where Junior Firpo is. He's obviously playing left-back for Leeds, obviously out of position at the moment. And you've got Rashford obviously at number 9, just behind Robin Koch. So you'll see there, you can see quite clearly already, Wout Weghorst has dropped in a little bit deeper to receive the ball. Then he's looking in behind. So in this particular instance, this was soon after the position change. The pass actually gets cut out by Ayling. So it's actually a good pass towards Garnacho, but it gets cut out by Ayling. Now, I can't show videos on here because of copyright and things like that. But if you do want to see the video footage of all this, it's on my Twitter at ThreadmanChaza as well. So I always like to do the thread on Twitter, ThreadmanChaza. The written, obviously, it's got some visuals there, but it's more of a written piece. This is more of like a talking piece with a few images, a few still images. So if you do want to see the video, do check that out on my Twitter. But this time the pass gets cut out. But you can see already he's dropping in deep. The importance of that sort of individually for him, what can he bring to that role? Well, his link-up play is good. His passing is quite good. His short passing, his accuracy of passing is quite good for a striker. So here he looks in behind for Garnacho. It's actually a decent pass, but Ayling cuts it out. So that was an early development we saw. Again here, this is another image. So this is Wout Weghorst dropping in. You'll see there, you can see a bit more clearly, United have got sort of formed a diamond with the front four. So you've got Bruno just in the right half space. You've got Rashford at number 9, Garnacho in the left half space, and Weghorst you'll see dropping in more centrally. So we saw under, sorry, my microphone nearly fell over there. We saw under Jose Mourinho a bit. We saw under Van Gaal, under David Moyes. We saw the use of players like Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Marouane Fellaini, etc. Now, let's focus on Fellaini. So I felt that Marouane Fellaini always got a bit too much disrespected and disregarded at Manchester United. Nobody ever should have thought that Fellaini was sort of a starter for Manchester United. He should have been regarded more as an impact player. And I think the role that Fellaini played, I think Weghorst showed some signs of that in this particular game. Now, I'm not comparing the two as players. I'm comparing the two in terms of what Weghorst brought to this particular game compared to what Fellaini brought to Manchester United in the past, with more quality, I would say, a bit more technical quality. So you see here, Weghorst controls the ball. He receives it short, controls the ball, and passes back to Fred. Now, this actually leads to United's first goal. So it ends up with Fred, and then Sabitzer has possession, and he obviously switches it out to Shaw. So the ball goes out to Shaw. It's a wonderful pass by Sabitzer, by the way. And Shaw puts a world-class cross in for Rashford. Now, if you want to see it again, if you want to see the video evidence of this, go over to my Twitter, ThreadmanChaza. Look at the recent tweets. You'll see the thread there. So you'll be able to read through everything. Now, this is something that not many people picked up on. So this is the box. So you'll see the box area, what's going on in the box. Now, it's quite congested. And the importance here, you've got to look at these four players. So the importance of these four players, Garnacho as well. It's very, very important to watch what's going on. So Garnacho, so you've got Luke Shaw on the left, United's furthest player on the left. You've got Garnacho is the next player then towards the right. So number 49, you can see there, just in the half space area, just towards the edge of the box. I've numbered the players from 1 to 4. So you've got Robin Koch, the Leeds right centre-back, number 1. Wout Weghorst, number 2. You've got Verber, so Leeds' left centre-back, number 3, and Marcus Rashford, number 4. So I've numbered them from 1 to 4 because I think it's quite a good way of doing things. You can kind of see what's happening. So at the moment, you'll see Luke Shaw, as you can see, you can see the way that his feet are positioned, that Luke Shaw is about to cross the ball. So you can actually see the cross is about to come in from Shaw. You can see his sort of... you can see the momentum in his action that he's about to cross that ball. So Robin Koch is in a position sort of where he should be, really, because Alejandro Garnacho, so you've got the player that's next to Shaw, and you've got the player that's sort of next to Garnacho as well. That player can't really follow Garnacho too much because they need to make sure that Shaw is covered. Whereas Robin Koch, he can't worry too much about Weghorst at the moment because that ball might get played into Garnacho's feet. So Robin Koch doesn't want to go too far away from Garnacho in case the ball is played into Garnacho's feet. So Robin Koch is in that position. Weghorst is just making that movement sort of in behind Robin Koch. So he's just on the blind side of Robin Koch at the minute. So Weghorst is making that run. And you'll see Rashford is very, very tight with Verber. So Verber is very, very tight to Rashford at the moment. Defensively, he's sticking very, very tight to him. So that's the first image. The next image here. So what happens here? Well, Shaw, you'll see how tight the Leeds player, I think it might be Somerville there, is to Shaw. Shaw still manages to put a world-class cross in. Now, you'll see, look at the run from Weghorst. Robin Koch has not followed him. So as I said before, Robin Koch has got to be careful of Garnacho in case the pass is played in. Weghorst is on the blind side. He's making that run. Now, if you're a defender in this sort of situation, and particularly if you're number 3, so you're Verber, you know that ball is going to come in from Shaw, or you have to expect that ball is going to come in from Shaw. So as a defensive player, you've got to make a decision here. You've got to make a decision here. I'm not sure what's on the right-hand side of Rashford. I think Wan-Bissaka is actually, yeah, he is. Wan-Bissaka, I remember, is still, I believe Wan-Bissaka is still not in that box. So Bruno might be on the right-hand side, and that might be occupying Firpo, but I can't remember. I can't remember exactly. But Wan-Bissaka is in a defensive position, but I think Bruno is in there as well, somewhere as well. So Firpo is engaged with Bruno. So you'll see, really, Manchester United have got all of their front 4 in that box area or around the box. So Again, we talked about Erik ten Hag. We talk about this numerical superiority, pushing teams back, disrupting opposition shape, causing overloads in the final third. What does that do? Well, numerically, it has to leave somebody free, or it has to leave somebody one-on-one with a defender where we know we can get the edge, if that makes sense. Yeah, so we're going to leave, for example, you see a lot with sort of Arsenal trying to leave Martinelli or Saka one-on-one as their fullback, because you know that those Arsenal wide players have got the edge on the fullback. You fancy those players to beat their man one-on-one. And that's the same that we're talking about. Sort of, if we can get Weghorst one-on-one in the box, well, my goodness, we expect Weghorst to cause any defender in the world problems in the air. Even though he is an incredibly tall profile, doesn't necessarily mean he's fantastic in the air. Actually, I think he's better with his ball to feet than he is towards him in the air when he's receiving the pass. Sort of when he's facing the play, Weghorst is actually, I think, he's better with his chest and his feet than he is with his head, and that's actually sort of a big sort of shout out to Weghorst, to be able to use his feet that well and quite quickly for a 6'6" striker. I think he is for such a tall profile is actually a shout out to him. It's a big positive for him. But as I said, can we overload the final third? Yes. Now, what does that do? Leeds have got to make choices here. So because of Garnacho's positioning, Robin Koch hasn't come out, so cannot really stick with Weghorst. He cannot go in with Weghorst completely. So that means that Verba, number 3, you can see the way his body shape is. You can see the way his momentum's going. Verba is moving towards Weghorst, so he's moving towards the left-hand side. So he's made a decision. He's running sort of diagonally towards Weghorst. You can see with the way his body shape is. He's probably thinking in this situation, from what I know about football, although Marcus Rashford's improved a lot in the air this season, I'd rather leave Marcus Rashford free than leave Weghorst free. So that's probably his thought process. So without this run from Weghorst, we just don't know what could have happened. So you'll see, this is the last image. There you go. That's where the 4 players end up in the end. So you got Robin Koch, number 1. Number 2, Weghorst. Look how close Verba is. So look how close Verba is to Weghorst. So he's decided to go close to Weghorst. Look how much space Rashford's in. Firpo has to stick with Bruno. Rashford scores a wonderful header, and I'm not taking anything away from Rashford. Absolutely brilliant. I'm so happy to see him improve his overall game. I've been very critical of Rashford over many years. You need to improve with your left foot. You need to improve in the air, and he's doing both. And it just gives us a different weapon, and this is the weapon it gives us. Even if you think Weghorst is a bigger threat, which Verba might have thought, we've got Marcus Rashford who's started to score goals with his head. It gives us an extra dimension, an extra dynamic, and he scored a brilliant header. Does this goal happen without the run of Weghorst? We don't know. It might have left Rashford tighter with Verba, and Verba might have just been able to put Rashford off, or he might have been able to get a touch to it. Football is a game of marginals. It's a marginal thing. Some people might be thinking, it's you're nitpicking it. But these marginal things decide games, decide sort of games, minutes, points, titles. It can decide huge elements of football and facets of the game. And here, Wout Weghorst's run draws a defender closer to him, which leaves space for somebody else. So this is a direct, he's having a real direct impact on what happens with this goal. People might not notice it, but you have to look into the finer details. And this is what I talk about in terms of Wout Weghorst. I think he's received too much criticism, maybe because he isn't a flashy player. He isn't sort of that conventional player. It takes players on, makes fans excited. No, if you have a team or if you have a forward line of players that are all of those types that want to take players on, who are very direct, who have got lots of pace. If all your forward line are like that, you're actually going to score fewer goals because they're all trying to do the same thing. If you've got a forward line that's more balanced, that has a mix of profiles, one player that might be a little bit slower, who likes to come to the ball, that might then draw more players towards that player and leave space in behind for the faster, more direct players. You also maybe want a player like Jadon Sancho or an Antony on that right-hand side, along with Rashford on that left-hand side, with Weghorst at striker, then you've got a lovely mix of profiles there. So I think the criticism of Weghorst is a bit far-fetched. I thought in the first half, I'll be honest, I thought he gave the ball away a few too many times. I think in the second half, though, particularly the last half an hour, I thought he was absolutely brilliant. I think him and Luke Shaw were probably our two best performers in that second half in terms of their overall performance. I thought they were absolutely brilliant. So I'm really, really happy with this direct impact that Weghorst had. So that's our first goal. This is our second goal. So Weghorst receives the pass. He plays it into Garnacho in behind, and Garnacho scores. Again, you can't take anything away from what Garnacho does. He still has a lot to do when he gets the ball. But again, Weghorst, without that tactical change from Erik ten Hag and putting him in the number 10 position, would he have dropped in this deep, received the pass and played to Garnacho? Or would he be where Rashford is? Would it have been Bruno where Weghorst is? Would Bruno have picked the same pass that Weghorst would have played? We just don't know. So you have to give Erik ten Hag credit. He moved out Weghorst a little bit deeper. What did that do? He actually won us a free kick. I think at least one. I noticed in my thread, if you want to check that out, I've got the video footage is there. If you have a more physical player in midfield, right, I can talk about Joe Linton as well. They're not the same profile, but it's just an interesting point. If you have a more physical profile in there, like Joe Linton at Newcastle, you're gonna draw more fouls. You can use your body better. What does that do? Away at Leeds United, when the crowd's up, you win a foul. Everyone pushes up the pitch. You quieten the crowd down a bit. They get frustrated. Very, very important. What else does he do? He draws players towards him. What does that do? That leaves space in behind for other players. So extremely, extremely important. So this was our second goal through, obviously, Alejandro Garnacho was a brilliant, brilliant finish. Really, really happy for him. As I said before, Garnacho at the moment is best coming on as an impact sub, and he's proven that. He's proven his worth fantastically well. But this second goal, it's Wout Weghorst involved in it. So, it's hugely, hugely important. In both goals, he laid the ball off for the first goal that led to Sabitz's crossfield pass, Shaw's cross, Rashford's header. I know there's a lot of different things that happen after that. But if you make the right decisions in football, you will eventually see the rewards. 9 out of 10, 95%, you could even argue, of good things that Wout Weghorst does will not lead to a goal. And that's why people might not notice the good things he's doing, because a lot of people, and this is, I'm not calling people out, but a lot of people, and it's understandable, a lot of people, when they watch football matches, they just watch who scores the goals. They watch those critical elements of the game. What people don't watch is the little details. They don't look out for these little details that actually eventually can lead to the momentum growing, the confidence growing, and then the goals coming. So really, really happy with Wout Weghorst. Do I see him playing a number 10 going forward? I don't see him starting in that position regularly. I don't see him playing that position all the time. But I do see Wout Weghorst giving us a different dimension coming in that little pocket of space that a normal number 10 might pick up. I do see that being a possibility. What will it give us? As I said, he'll link play. He can control with his chest. Again, go on my Twitter if you want to see examples of that. Controls well with his chest. Puts a player in, puts a pass to a player that's in space or in behind. But what he'll also do, as I said, he'll draw players towards him. He'll win some fouls. He will also obviously be physical in there. So it's not just about winning fouls. If he's in that number 10 position, he's a bit more of a physical profile in terms of duels and things like that. He's going to put himself about. He's going to, put the opposition off as such, if you want to call it like that. So I just think having a more physical option that can drop in there at times is actually really, really useful for us. And another thing actually that I just thought of as well is about our press. So obviously, if Wout Weghorst does go to the number 10, it actually might give him a bit of a rest from being the first point of our press. So if we are pressing high, you'll see often Wout Weghorst sort of pressing the opposition goalkeeper, the opposition centre halves, etc. But if he isn't that first point of the press, you might see him take a bit of a breather, but he hasn't got to do that first action of the press all the time, running towards the keeper, etc. So if you wanted to preserve a bit of Wout's energy in terms of the press, being that first point of the press, then you could do that as well. I'm not saying that that position requires less energy overall than playing at number 9, because obviously you're playing in midfield. Maybe he's playing more of a centre forward, so close to the striker than he is maybe closer to our own goal, but still playing in midfield. I don't expect Wout to play and start or play a lot of his minutes in midfield. It's just an option if we are struggling in a game to get some combination play going. We can make this change. So that's just something I wanted to talk to you guys about today. I think, what do you need to give Wout? You need to give him runners into space and in behind. That's very, very important. And also, I think his relationship with Anthony was going quite well as well, and particularly away at Nottingham Forest in the first leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final. You saw some really nice combinations between the two. So if you give Wout some runners in behind, some players that want to combine with him, runners into space, I think him in this number 10 position could be something that we could see now and again. So just be careful. I'm not saying Wout Weghorst is a number 10. I'm saying he's a number 9, but he can drop into centre forward type areas or number 10 type positions on the pitch from time to time, and we can use him there to improve our link-up play, combination play, a bit more physical in midfield, and give the opposition a different test in terms of putting Rashford at number 9. Lastly, if he's in that number 10 position, what might he do? He might make late runs into the box. For example, late runs into the box. There, he's number 2 there. Runs into the box, gives Rashford more space, takes the defender away from him. So this is something we might see from Wout Weghorst going forward. As always, guys, please do like the video if you enjoyed. I really enjoyed recording this one, doing the thread on this one. It was really, really interesting. This man is in. Erik ten Hag is giving me so much content to make. I'm loving it at the moment. You know, I'm a busy man, but I wouldn't want it any other way. Last season, I was struggling to put 1 or 2 bloody tweets together the way we were bloody playing at that time. It was so bad. But with Erik ten Hag this season, I'm making a different video every week on something that I'd never thought I'd talk about, which is absolutely brilliant. So as always, guys, please do like if you enjoy. Please do comment your thoughts. What do you think about this particular positional change for this game? Would you like to see it happen again? And yeah, let me know what you thought of the video as well. As always, I appreciate all the support. Please do subscribe if you're new, like if you enjoyed, and we will be back with possibly an analytical or a tactical video after the Barcelona or Leicester games later on in the week. I'll also be doing a live show at some point this week as well. So make sure you check out, just watch out on my Twitter for any updates about the live show. As always, I appreciate all the support, guys. Thanks a lot. Take care.